So let's get to a 2024 linebacker recruit, Teddy Rezac. Give us some information on Teddy, and has he visited Notre Dame yet?
Yeah, it's really interesting, Darren, and for folks watching on YouTube, pull up there he is on his visit. For folks watching, you could see, his cool visit picture. So here's the really interesting deal. On May 1st, that Monday, Teddy Rezac had not talked to Notre Dame before. Tuesday, Al Golden's at his high school. Thursday, Chad Bowden's at his high school, and Bowden is not one of the 10 assistant coaches, but when you don't have an assistant coach on the road, then you can fill in that spot. Like Dylan McCullough had some kind of personal / work matters. It was kind of a mix of an event he had to go to. So he was off the road Thursday, which allowed Bowden to then go see Rezac. And I believe you can go to one of these high schools twice, and they're in the spring eval period, something like that. And then by the end of the day, Thursday, Rezac picks off an offer from Notre Dame. Sunday, he's on campus. Monday, he's also on campus. And it's just kind of just been a whirlwind for him. So not a very highly ranked prospect. On3 Industry Ranking has him as the number 919 overall player, number 54 athlete, standing at about 6'3.5", 185 pounds. It's my understanding he was really a safety, as a junior, but he's a linebacker. I mean, in that size, I'm told that Notre Dame's really impressed with his size, his length. He's got the height. I mean, you had Goldency and Bowdency, and then he was just on campus. Everyone's really impressed with him from what I'm told. So, look, I don't want to sell Notre Dame. Like, my job's not to sell Notre Dame fans on anything. My job's just to, report what I'm told, and I'm also going to give you guys my opinion as well. But this is this is a young man who Notre Dame sources are excited about. I don't know if I misspoke, Darren, but yeah, he played safety during his junior season. But he's a linebacker at the next level. Like, that's where his skill set translates most. You see him on that film for folks watching on YouTube playing near the box, and here he is at a receiver. So, again, not highly ranked, but when you play out of position, and he's from Omaha, Nebraska. I mean, it's not a total hotbed for college football recruiting. It's got good players for sure, Nebraska, but not, again, you're not talking about Atlanta or Dallas here. So Missouri offered him over the weekend. Like, he's picking up a lot more steam. I think the Notre Dame offer kind of, set the country like, oh, like if Notre Dame offered, like we need to take a look at him as well. So it's an interesting prospect for sure. He's a really good athlete, good size, comes from a pretty good high school program in West Side at Omaha. His coach also coached Xavier Watts, when Watts was in high school a few years back. So an interesting prospect. I logged a prediction for him Monday after I heard how the visit went, which, the staff seemed to really crush it. And again, the Notre Dame assistants weren't on the road because they're out for the spring evaluation period. So it was, guys like Bowden, Max Bola, former Michigan State linebacker, who's now on the staff at Notre Dame, replacing James Laurinaitis as that, what are they, grad assistant analyst, whatever. Dre Brown, director of high school recruiting, and then Marcus Freeman in town on Monday. So Freeman was able to meet with Rezac as well. And again, went really well, logged a prediction, and I think there's a decent chance that this guy ends up as Notre Dame's first linebacker in the class, but that remains to be seen.
Since you mentioned the word safety, let me just ask this for our listeners. You spend a lot of time not only doing a lot of work on recruiting, but also you watch the transfer portal. Is there anything happening, do you think, for the Irish trying to add some more safety depth for the 2023 campaign?
Yeah, that's something I actually reported about at Blue and Gold. They offered the Rhode Island safety was Antonio Carter, and had that story up at Blue and Gold. So Notre Dame offered him Friday, and I wrote this article. Supposed to be visiting Notre Dame this week for an official. So that's something we'll keep an eye on. I mean, the young man's just absolutely blown up with tons of offers. So, he might be from Rhode Island, but I mean, he's got a lot of heavy hitters wanting him. So, that's something Chris O'Leary talked about. Like, hey, after spring ball, we might go to the portal. And as always, I tell our audiences, Darren, like, Notre Dame's always going to look at the portal for the best players. Like, even if they're pretty loaded at the position, they're always going to do that. Safety does seem like a position they could use some help at. So yeah, they're taking a look at Antonio Carter, and transfer portal recruiting, Darren, is a lot quieter than high school reporting. Like, all the high school kids, for the most part, post their offers on Twitter or Instagram, right? Not as much with the grad transfers. It's they're not all of these guys are posting their offers. So a long way to say there might be more out there. I mean, Antonio Carter posted about his Notre Dame offer publicly. That's not to say he's the only one, if that makes sense.
Okay, so for more on Carter and what's happening in the portal with him, check out blueandgold.com. Since we're talking safeties, let's go to the 2024 class. Davis Andrews is a prospect that Notre Dame is looking at.
Yep, and he visited Notre Dame for the Blue Gold game. I haven't logged a prediction here, but I do think that Notre Dame's out in front. 6'2", 190 pounds. I know, folks. He's another 3-star prospect, but listen, I don't know what to say. Like, if Notre Dame really likes these players, I like that's who they're going to go after. They're not going to be like, oh, well, we really like Davis Andrews, but he's ranked as a 3-star. I don't want our fans to get upset. Like, this is a priority target for them. Davis Andrews from American Fork, Utah, is the number 684 player overall, number 74 safety. I mean, yeah, we might cry about if Notre Dame lands him. Oh, another 3-star. You can look at so many examples of 3-stars who panned out, 3-stars who ended up 5 stars. Looking at you, Kyle Hamilton, Joe Alt was a 3-star with minimal offers when Notre Dame got him. Like there's just so many examples of it. Of course, there's a lot of examples of 3-stars not working out, but like, again, they're going to go after who they're going to get. What, you think the Notre Dame scouting department is just, let's look at rankings and offer lists? No, I mean, they're going to go after who they value, and we'll see if it works out down the road. So that's why I'm not a big, oh, this is a terrible offer. And then on the other side of things, sometimes over the moon about certain prospects, but I'm not going to be like, oh, Notre Dame lands this kid, he's going to lead them to a national title. This is the greatest thing ever. Like, I like to stay in the middle, even keel on some of this stuff there. And the overreactions can be a little much. Now, let's actually talk about Davis Andrews.
Okay.
Official visits scheduled for him so far: UCLA May 26th, Notre Dame June 6th. That's a midweek trip. And then Utah that weekend. So he has a top 6 schools list. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. I'll have to pull it up real quick. Notre Dame, Utah, BYU, Stanford, Tennessee, UCLA, and again, the officials with 3 of those schools. Now, starting in July, there's a rule that you can take unlimited official visits if you're a prospect. But interestingly enough, July is a dead period, so you can't even take an official until September. But yeah, in the fall, I mean, so Davis could take 5 official visits in June and then say, I want to take 5 more in the fall. Now, some of those schools might not want to host them, because they know they're not even in the mix. When I say, and I'm just kind of using him as an example, but yeah, I like Notre Dame here. They're going to get that official visit the week of that midweek, June 6th. I like the Irish right now for them, but it's hard to say that with too much certainty, before the official visits.
I'm not overly concerned about that 3-star rating because I'm just looking at his top 6. There's quite a few top 25 football teams in his top 6.
Yeah, which that's fine. I mean, but that also doesn't mean squat. Like, I don't know, data points. That's my whole thing, Darren. They're just data points. Just take them, take each little thing, the ranking, the offer list, the context, the context of, like, do they play out of position? What's the high school competition? Heck, you even got, like, Notre Dame's after a tight end in Nebraska. I think he plays 8-man ball. Like, there's just so much there. Darren, a guy who I really trust in this business told me years ago, these college coaches and recruiting staffers are detectives. Like, they have to take in all the data. They need to go and get all the information they can. They got to talk to a lot of people. I mean, that's what this stuff is, Darren. You got to search between the cracks. Like, you have to uncover what you can. So yeah, I mean, could this be a hidden gem kind of deal where it's a 3-star and he's an amazing player? Sure. And I'm just speaking generally here. Or could it be a 3-star who doesn't work out like we've seen at Notre Dame many times? Sure. Just don't know yet.
Well, I take Colorado on the screen with a grain of salt because they're offering anybody in the country since they have, 20 players at this particular time. So
Saw a graphic, Darren, over 50 players have entered the portal for them this year, something like that.
isn't that
Just
amazing?
absolutely madness. I used to cover the Buffs.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, during Mike McIntyre, and then
Yeah.
I think Mel Tucker's one year there. I was covering them. So that was before I got the beat here at Blue and Gold. I would not be happy as a person if I was covering Colorado. That lifestyle, that's awful. I mean, that's as a reporter, no thank you.